Kevin, you must have misunderstood what Mike said. I can clearly see that there's nothing wrong with this pill. Did you hear what Professor Murdoch just told you? With all that stuff you were saying earlier, it turns out you don't know anything. You were just pretending to be some kind of expert to get a little attention. How pathetic. Some people have no idea what they're talking about. Mike sneered at Kevin. Then he turned and looked at Professor Murdoch. Go ahead and take the pill right now. Don't let Kevin's jealousy stop you. She nodded in agreement and swallowed the pill. On his way back to the VIP room, Kevin saw Mike standing by the stairs with Luther and Lionel. They seemed to be discussing something in a low voice. Out of curiosity, Kevin quietly walked over and listened to them. I was planning to drop a few $1,000 on the dinner at most, but I never expected the Witsler Hotel to be this expensive. Dinner's almost over. If I don't pay the bill, I'll be up the creek and this will have all been for nothing. Hey, Mike, I think I got an idea. I just don't know if you'll be too embarrassed to try it. If you have something to say, just say it. Don't keep us waiting. It's simple. Lionel and I will keep toasting you. After a while, you'll pretend to be drunk and pass out. The class is full of rich people who can afford to foot the bill. What do you think? It's true they can afford it, but who's carrying around $300,000 on a school night? But isn't Penny here? Her family's loaded. $300,000 would be a drop in the bucket for her. If you're out of it, I'm sure she'll help out. When Kevin heard this, he quickly headed back to the VIP room. As he got to the door, Penny was walking out. Kevin came up with a plan of his own. As Penny brushed against him, he used the light touch that he'd learned about in the secret guide and took her phone and wallet. When Kevin returned to his seat and sat down, Mike and his two buddies were just walking into the room. Luther and Lionel really put on an act for everyone. What the heck? Is Mike drunk? No way. Mike can handle it. It's late, Mike. Wake up. Time to go. But Mike didn't move. Wow. Mike's really out of it. What's the damage? $360,000 after the discount, of course. The students were all in shock when they heard him say that. Even though they were all from wealthy families, they'd never squandered their money like this. I can't believe we ate that much. I promised Mike I'd help him with the bill, but that's a lot of money. Why don't I pay the bill? She casually reached into her bag to get her wallet. Penny's face froze as she rooted through her bag and discovered that her wallet and even her phone were missing. Finally, Mike decided to stop pretending to be asleep. I'm sorry, everybody. I just had a little too much wine and accidentally fell asleep. It's getting late. Why don't you all head home? I'll take care of the bill. See you in class. Mike phoned his father, Wyatt Tripp. He was a well-known import-export tycoon in Detroit. He figured it was better to be scolded by his father than to be embarrassed in front of his entire class. Kevin took out his books on herbal medicine to figure out what kind of pill Professor Murdoch had taken. Based on the color and smell of the pill Mike had given her, Kevin was able to find it in his materials. It was a neutralization pill. Fortunately, it wouldn't be fatal to her. However, it would severely diminish any progress that she'd already made in her physical and mental training. His thoughts were interrupted by an unfamiliar ringtone. By reflex, he answered the call. Hello, are you Kevin? The young woman turned out to be Penny's best friend, Mackenzie Knott. What's going on? What are you doing with Penny's phone? That sounds like you're accusing me of something. How do you know Penny didn't just lose her phone and I found it? I don't care if you found it or stole it. Just give it back to her tomorrow. Early the next morning, Kevin drove to campus with Lily. As soon as he walked into the classroom, he broke into a grin. Meriwether, what are you doing here? Why, Kevin, what brings you here? Meriwether looked at Kevin and suddenly felt very depressed. This guy had already beaten him up twice at the Jones family mansion and then in prison. Why couldn't he get rid of the guy? Why do I keep running into you? What did you say? Just as Kevin was about to say something else, he smelled a strong perfume in the air. Before he could react, Penny was standing in front of him. Do you have my phone? Give it back to me right now. Great. I found it on the way out of the Witsler Hotel last night, and I was wondering whose it was, but everybody had already left. My phone is always in my bag unless I'm talking on it. So tell me again, where did you pick it up? I've already explained it to you clearly, Penny. Don't think you can bully me just because you're from a wealthy family. I may be poor, but I'd never steal anything. Even if you didn't steal her phone, that's no reason to threaten her. How'd you like to end up down at the police station? Call the police? You've really underestimated Kevin. He's already done time. Why don't you ask him what for? Everyone heard the sound of footsteps coming down the hall toward the classroom. Professor Murdoch walked in carrying a book. You got here just in time, Professor Murdoch. Kevin stole Penny's phone yesterday, but he's trying to tell us that he just found it at the Witsler Hotel. Mike, that's nothing to be joking about. You know that this school doesn't tolerate that kind of behavior. But I believe that Kevin would never do something like that. Now everyone go back to your seats. I have something exciting to tell you. As you probably recall, there was serious flooding in our state a while back, and a lot of the victims are still in need of assistance. Our school has always believed in helping the less fortunate. So last night, the administration decided to organize a fundraising event with each class forming a team. Whichever class has the most donations will receive a generous reward from the school. The students all started pulling out their phones. Just to show off, Mike immediately donated $60,000. Did you see that, Kevin? You still think I don't have any money? How could someone who's short on cash donate $60,000? Professor Murdoch, could you please return my phone to me? I want to make a donation too. She took a long look at Kevin and then took his phone out of her briefcase. I'll return it to you, but you have to listen to me carefully. First of all, from now on, as long as you're in class, you can't take your phone out. If I catch you doing it again, you'll never get it back. Second, from now on, you have to be on your best behavior in school. Kevin didn't say anything. He just entered the fundraising information into his phone and returned to his seat. Quick, take a look at the donation website. They could all see that someone had just donated $500,000. And the name next to the donation was Kevin. You said I was so poor I had to steal a phone? Then tell me how many phones you could buy for $500,000. What is there for you to be proud of when you're just spending your wife's money? Anyway, my father's the one who gave me my money, and I won't get scolded when I get home. Then Mike pulled out his phone and donated $500,000 to the fundraiser. Let's see if you can match that with your wife's money. Wow, Mike, it looks like you're really rich. Are you sure you're in the mood to compete with me? Kevin shot back. Then he took out his phone and donated $1 million to the fundraiser. Aren't you going to match my donation, Mike? Remember, it's for the disaster victims. Mike got so angry that he punched Kevin in the shoulder. I can forgive you for insulting me, but do you expect to get away with hitting me? Kevin growled as he grabbed Mike's wrist with one hand and slapped him hard on the cheek with the other. Kevin, how can you do that? Come to my office. Kevin wondered what was going on. He followed her into her office and stood there quietly. Kevin, private fights are strictly prohibited here. If you dare to strike anyone again, you'll be severely punished. Are you feeling okay? You don't seem as strong today as you usually do. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep and my body hasn't had a chance to recover yet. You're lying to yourself, Professor. There's no need to do that with me. If I'm right, you'll have lost all your progress within 3 days, and you'll never be able to get it back, no matter what you try. Are you trying to scare me? Since you don't believe me, I don't know what else I can say, but please remember what I said, Professor. There are only 3 days left at most. If you change your mind in the next couple of days, just give me a call. I have a way to solve your problem. While this was going on, Randall Williams was in his New York mansion having coffee with Seth Roundtree. Mr. Williams, by joining the Myriads, you've made a wise decision for your family. I'll take you tonight to meet with the senior members. That way we'll all be clear about what we can expect from each other in this relationship. I'd like to talk to you about the herbal meds for my family. Don't worry, I have plenty of pills for you. Tonight I'll ask my people to let you have some of the construction pills. Take this as my gift to your family to commemorate your acceptance into the Myriads. Kevin had already moved way beyond the basic moves that were being demonstrated in the class, so he found a shady spot and lay down on the ground where he could watch the rest of the students practice. Suddenly, Lily walked up to him holding 2 bottles of water. Sweetie, do you want some water?" Lily sat down right next to Kevin and put her head on his shoulder. Just then, another beautiful woman walked over to Kevin. Phoebe Anderson handed Kevin a bottle of water and gave him a pleasant smile. "You must be thirsty, Kevin." "I'm very flattered, Miss Anderson. Don't forget that I still owe you a meal. When are you free? I've got tons of free time. Just say when." Just as he was about to say something to change the subject, he heard a firm voice telling him to have some more water. "What's this about, Penny?" Phoebe was starting to feel very uneasy. She was already in competition with Lily, and now there was someone new she had to deal with. But Lily was getting even more nervous. She knew exactly who Penny was. She was from the most important family in the city, and she was also very attractive.
Hi, Kevin here. If you're wondering what happens next, then stay tuned on the Pocket FM Universe channel for more episodes.